Hello and welcome to another video on navigating the Windows environment with a screen reader. Today we're going to look at connecting to Wi-Fi using the Windows Action Center. Before we get started, let's go ahead and I want to remind you that though we will be using JAWS for Windows as our screen reader today, you can utilize any other screen reader that you feel comfortable with or no screen reader at all if you choose. And any commands or processes today that we talk about are completely Windows-based and not dependent on the screen reader that you are using. So let's go ahead and get started. As you might recall, before we looked at how to connect to Wi-Fi from the notification area of the taskbar or the system tray. But the reason we did that at the time was because we were talking about the layout of the system tray. This method is much easier and it is a faster way to connect to your Wi-Fi than using the notification area of the taskbar. This is going to involve getting to the Windows Action Center that we looked at before. As you might recall, the Windows Action Center is accessed by pressing Windows key plus the letter A or alpha, so I'm going to do that now.
Windows quick settings Y-5 button on 1 of 12. To activate, press space bar.
As you've heard, we are focused on the Wi-Fi button. The Wi-Fi is on, which is what I want, because if it were not on, I would not be able to connect to a Wi-Fi setting. So let's go ahead and press Tab so that I'm focused on my Manage Wi-Fi Connections area.
Manage Y-Fi connections button 1 of 12. To activate, press space bar.
And I'm going to go ahead and press Enter to open this.
Enter Y-5. List box. Network View Model. Setting entry 1 of 2. To move to an item, press the arrow keys.
Now you might recall that I'm focused on a list, and there's a list of available Wi-Fi connections here. The first connection, for some reason, as noted before, it doesn't always announce correctly, but that's okay, because if I press my down arrow,
WCBVI-data, secured, signal 4 out of 4 bars, 2 of 2.
It tells me that the second item is WCBVI data. It has 4 out of 4 bars. It's a secured network. If I come back up,
WCBVI-guest 1, open, signal 4 out of 4 bars, 1 of 2.
That tells me I'm on the first item. It has 4 out of 4 bars. It's an open network, so it's not secured, and I don't need to put a password in. Let's go ahead and just connect to this network. So I'm going to go ahead and press Enter.
Enter selected.
So remember, just because I've hit select here doesn't mean I'm connected. I need to tab down to the Connect button.
Connect automatically checkbox not checked. To check, press space bar.
If this were a network that I connected to every time I was in range, I would want to make sure this was checked. But I'm just going to go ahead and tab down to Connect.
Connect button 1 of 1. To enter more Y-5 settings button 1 of 3. To activate, press space bar. List box. WCBVI-guest 1, open, signal 4 out of 4 bars. Cancel button. To activate, press space bar. More Y-5 settings button 1 of 3. To activate, press space bar. List box. Network View Model. Setting entry 1 of 2. To move to an item, press the arrow keys. Connecting.
So it's kind of telling me I'm connecting. I'm not really sure where I'm at. So I'm just going to press my down arrow and my up arrow again.
WCBVI-guest 1 connected. Open. Signal 4 out of 4 bars. 1 of 2.
Perfect. So I am connected to this open network. I could tab down to disconnect.
Properties disconnect button 1 of 1. To activate, press space bar.
I'm going to go ahead and actually just press a down arrow.
WCBVI-data, secured, signal 4 out of 4 bars, 2 of 2.
And show that I can connect to this WCBVI data network if I want. So I'm going to go ahead and press Enter to expand this one.
Enter selected.
And I'm going to press Tab until I hear Connect.
Connect automatically checkbox not checked. To check Connect button 1 of 1. To activate, press space bar.
Press Enter again.
Enter more Y-5 settings button 1 of 3. To activate, press space bar. List box. WCBVI-data, secured, signal 4 out of 4 bars. Cancel button to activate, press space bar. More Wi-Fi settings button 1 of 3 to activate, press space bar. List box network view model setting entry 1 of 2 to move to an item, press the arrow keys. Checking network requirements.
Okay, I'm just going to silence my screen reader and press down and up again.
WCBVI-guest 1, WCBVI-data connected, secured signal.
Okay, I'm going to silence my screen reader, and that lets me know that I'm connected. Another thing I want to show you really quick is how to connect to a Wi-Fi connection that has a password. These have all had their passwords entered before, but this one that I'm going to add has not. So I'm going to really quick turn on my iPhone's hotspot and allow that one to show up here in our list. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to exit my Windows Action Center, and I'm going to come back in. So I'm going to do an Windows A.
Windows quick settings Y-5 button on 1 of 12 to activate, press space bar.
Now I'm going to press tab to go to my Manage Wi-Fi settings.
Manage Y-5 connections button 1 of 12 to
Enter.
activate. Enter Y-5 list box network view model setting entry 1 of 3 to move to an item, press the arrow.
So I'm going to silence my screen reader, and now I'm going to look for my Wi-Fi hotspot here.
WCBVI-guest 1 open. WCBVI-data.
Nope, so I'm going to come back up.
WCBVI-guest 1 Amy-iPhone connecting secured signal 0 out of 4 bars 1 of 3.
There it is. I don't know why it thinks it doesn't have any bars, but it does. So I'm going to go ahead and press enter.
Enter selected.
And I'm going to remember it's selected, but it's not connected. So I'm going to tab down to where it says connect.
Connect automatically checkbox checked. To clear checkmark, press space. Connect button 1 of 1. To activate, press space. Enter. More Y-5 settings button 1 of 3. To activate, press space bar. List box. Amy-iPhone connecting. Secured. Signal 0 out of 4 bars. Enter the password. Password edit. Type in text. Checking network requirement.
Okay, so I'm going to silence my screen reader. Now I'm going to enter my password. Press enter.
Cancel button to activate, press space bar. More Y-5 settings button 1 of 3 to activate, press space bar. List box network view model setting entry.
So I'm going to silence my screen reader, and just to make sure I'm connected.
WCBVI-guest 1 Amy-iPhone connected secured.
And I'm connected here. So that's how you would just have the extra step of adding a password. I hope this has been helpful for you. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great day.